Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar. My name is Charlie, and I'm the Head of Character Development for the Warrior Academy. We're super thrilled to have you join us for what promises to be a super enlightening and engaging session today. But before we dive in, I want to take a moment to introduce our guest today, Dr. Sandy, who is a renowned expert in holistic health, mindfulness, and yoga. With her extensive experience and innovative approach, Dr. Sandy is uniquely positioned to provide us with some valuable insights in today's webinar. Today, Dr. Sandy will be discussing how you can manage stress and anxiety. So, without further ado, please let me welcome Dr. Sandy to the stage.
Hello, Charlie. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for this space. I'm so excited to be here.
Thank you so much for joining us today, Dr. Sandy. It's a pleasure to have you with us today. We're all super excited for today's webinar. So I'm going to get straight to it and I'll hand the virtual floor over to you. So I hope that everybody enjoys.
Amazing. So today we're going to be talking about managing stress and anxiety and some tools for parents to stay calm and centered. I know that as parents, we all are interested in building a happy family. We want our children to feel loved, to feel secure and understood. But sometimes, parenthood can be challenging. We've all been there. We know that sometimes we have those daily stresses. We have deadlines at work. We have bills to pay. And it's just overwhelming. And we tend to explode with our children. Our children, sometimes people say like they know how to trigger us and what buttons to touch. So today we're going to be diving into how to manage those stressors, those triggers, so we can respond to our children with a more calm approach, respond instead of reacting and getting hijacked by our emotions. I know sometimes it can sound a little bit like, yeah, it's impossible, but I will be talking about mindfulness and how it helps us to stay calm. I will tell you from now that mindfulness is a practice. It's progress. It's not about being a perfect parent. It's more about progressing. And well, yeah, we need to practice in order to get to that level. So I'm going to explain a little bit about myself. So I am Sandy, Dr. Sandy. I am a physician, a general practitioner, focusing on mental health and lifestyle medicine with a holistic approach through yoga, through mindfulness, through holistic ceremonies for adults or women circles. And yeah, I teach families how to cultivate a mindfulness practice, how to foster mental health through a holistic approach without using medications or just to maintain that lifestyle, which, because at the end of the day we want that to be a lifestyle. So a little bit about the content that we're going to go through today is the welcome and the introduction. Then we're going to go through a transition and intention. I always love to do transitions everywhere because it helps us come into the present moment and take the best out of whatever we're doing. Sometimes maybe now you're coming back from work or putting your kids to bed or traffic and your head is somewhere else. So we're going to start with an exercise to transition and to forget about everything else and just be here and setting an intention. Then we'll move into reframing stress through mindfulness, how to do that, and understanding stress. And then an important part of mindfulness and as a family, mindful communication. And then mindfulness techniques for everyday parenting, which are easy, simple, and very effective. Then conclusion and some questions if anybody has some questions. With these goals in mind, again, I want to repeat that we're never striving for perfection, to be the perfect parent or perfect mom. We just want to be there for children and show up and try and try and try. So we're gonna start with a little exercise. I love to keep these workshops very interactive, so you can feel what mindfulness. Maybe some of you have practiced some breathing. Maybe some of you have done mindfulness yoga. I'll start by explaining what mindfulness is. And mindfulness means being here in the present moment, without thinking about the past or the future, and just trying to be present. It's also, you can be with your thoughts, but trying not to be judgmental. Sometimes we tend to, like, when we're trying to stay calm and connect with ourselves, and all of a sudden we think about something that has happened, we tend to judge our reaction or judge whatever outcome we had. So when we're practicing mindfulness, we're trying not to judge and just observe and let it go. um, so I will invite you to sit nice and tall. If you're sitting on a chair, preferably if you can place your feet on the floor, your spine nice and tall. Drop your shoulders down away from your ears. And I will invite you, if that feels comfortable, to close your eyes. If not, you can just lower your gaze down, relax your eyes, and focus on a point in front of you up on the floor, bringing your palms to your knees on your lap, facing up. And we're going to begin by taking a deep breath in through the nose and slowly exhale, breathe out through your mouth. And one more time, breathing in through the nose, inhaling peace and calm. And exhaling through the mouth, relaxing and releasing any tension in your body. And one more time, breathing in, peace and calm. Hold it at the top. And slowly exhale through your mouth. Release any tension, any fear, any worries. Just let it go. And as you continue to breathe at your normal pace, bring your hands to your heart. Begin to connect with yourself, connect to the present moment. Maybe you feel your heartbeat. Maybe you feel your skin a little bit warm. You feel your chest expanding as you breathe. And we're going to think about an intention for today or for the rest of the week. And an intention is anything we want to achieve in life that has a purpose. It could be, I intend to be more present with my family. I intend to be more patient. Anything that resonates with you right now. And slowly inhaling through your nose and exhaling through the mouth. When you're ready, gently open your eyes and coming back to the present moment. This intention helps us just to stay connected with our values, and it supports our journey towards our goals. So just whenever you remember about this workshop, try to take a deep breath. This will be your homework. Take a deep breath and think about this intention and just stop and pause for a moment. You can set daily intentions, weekly intentions, monthly. You can set intentions with your kids in the morning before going to school, whatever feels better for you. So now that we are grounded, we're going to go through the objectives. So by the end of this workshop, you will understand how unmanaged stress can affect your family dynamics, often leading to tension and miscommunication, which is what's going to make us explode sometimes. Learn quick stress reduction techniques you can use in the heat of the moment. They're going to be super simple, super easy. That's going to help you stay and remain calm and present and connected, creating a more peaceful and happy house and home, and harmony in your home. And live with increased emotional awareness, helping to prevent conflict and creating a more harmonious and joyful family environment, which is what we all want. We start with an activity. With mindful parenting, it's important to understand mindful parenting, again, is just practicing mindfulness, but also with your child. You're also not trying to avoid judging your child, and whatever emotion they're having, you try not to judge their emotions and just try to connect. So just to know where we are, I'm going to ask you to gently close your eyes or just focus on a point in front of you and think about a recent moment where you were truly connected with your family, with your child, or if you need to be more mindful with your spouse, with anyone that you feel that you need to be more mindful and connected. And think about what made this moment special. Maybe feel it, maybe smile. Remember, what were you wearing? What were you doing? And think about how did that make you feel to be fully present. And now I'm going to invite you to think about a time when you were stressed while you were parenting. You exploded, things didn't go the way you wanted. How did you react? And how do you think that reaction influenced your family's mood or the situation? And this is not about good or bad parenting. This is not about comparing. This is not about judging. It's just about understanding why it is so important to try to stay connected and why it's so important to focus on the little things. I'm going to ask you, for example, why do you think you felt more connected while you were thinking about a joyful moment? And sometimes it's even our environment, our phone. Sometimes we are with our children, present in person, but not present with our minds. So maybe we're playing Lego with our children, but we are with our phone. And I know as parents, we need to pay the bills, we need to order groceries, and we use our phone for everything. But maybe this was distracting you from being fully present with your child. So this exercise is for you to understand and notice all these little things that you could change. You could leave your phone for 10 minutes. Even if you connect for 10 minutes is better than being 1 hour with your child and disconnected. So 10 minutes goes a long way whenever you can just be fully present, looking at their eyes, listening to what they're telling you. And they notice everything. So this is just the first step of building this happy family that we all want to build, to recognize what's distracting us from being present. And then when we move to the situation when we didn't respond the way we wanted, what triggered us? Maybe we had something at work that didn't go well. Maybe we were hungry. Maybe we didn't sleep last night. So mindfulness means it's a lot about being aware of our body, our sensations, our feelings, and how to use those feelings, those emotions, those sensations, and recognize this little window where we can stop and breathe, or do a grounding exercise that we will go later on this workshop. So now understanding stress. So reframing stress through mindfulness. Stress, first of all, we need to understand that stress is natural. It's our biological response designed to protect us when we perceive a threat, whether it's a screaming child or we're running late for school. Our brains activate the fight or flight system, releasing hormones like cortisol and adrenaline. Our brain cannot differentiate whether there is a life-threatening emergency or our children spilling milk. So whenever we're triggered, we have our cortisol levels already high, and we meet our children after work, after school, and something happens. Of course, we're going to get triggered and we're going to react. But it's not necessarily that it's a life-threatening emergency. So we need to learn how to press pause on the fight or flight response in order to help our children to respond to their needs. So the first step for reframing stress is understanding the stress response. So maybe you've heard about the fight or flight response, which is a normal part of our nervous system. It's divided into two, the sympathetic and the parasympathetic. The sympathetic is the one that makes us feel kicks in the adrenaline, the cortisol, and makes us feel like we need to get out of there or we need to fight. Is the one that it's going to save us when there's an emergency or a life-threatening situation. And then the opposite is the parasympathetic nervous system, which is the brakes, is the one that's going to tell our brain, you know what, there's no situation that we need to run from. We can just slow down and relax. Nothing's going to happen. But how do we activate the parasympathetic nervous system? And a lot of times, if I tell you, okay, take a deep breath, when you're angry or when you're triggered, our brain won't understand that. It is the way we kick in the parasympathetic. But when we are stressed, mad, or upset, our prefrontal cortex is not getting the understanding that we need to do the breathing or whatever. So that's why we need to practice every day. That's what we need to make this part of our lifestyle. So it's understanding all those challenges that we have in parenting, that it's not about our children making it hard for us. It's understanding that they are having a hard time and that we need to help them because we are the adults. And if we have the tools, the number one question parents ask me is, how do I teach my children tools to navigate challenges, to cope with emotions or with stress? And it's by doing it yourself and then modeling. Why? Because first you're going to understand, how does it feel in your body? Why is it helping you? Is it really helping you? And then, of course, modeling. So once we understand the stress response and how it works and why breathing works, we have on average 16 breathing breaths per minute. And when we are stressed, it goes to 20, 22. So it becomes shallow breathing because it's going faster. Why? Because it's trying to activate that sympathetic nervous system. This is the signal to activate the sympathetic nervous system, to send more blood to our muscles to run, and keeping away the blood from the brain or the places that are not going to be helping us in that moment to survive. So when we breathe, we lower our breaths to 10 to 12 per minute. And that's what activates the parasympathetic nervous system. Lowering to 10 to 12 times per minute, it's what will activate the parasympathetic nervous system. And then it will make us feel calm. It will say, no, nothing's going on. We are safe. There's no need to run. There's no need to scream. There's no need to do anything that you might regret after. So yeah, and understanding this gives us the ability to make clear and thoughtful decisions, because when we are hijacked by our emotions, we are impaired to make healthy decisions and help our children. And when we are calm, we will make rational choices and respond in a calm way to our children. So this is basically the first step to parenting in a more calm way. Then the second one is mindful awareness of stress. Awareness means understanding how we are reacting. Sometimes we don't know our body. We don't even know. If I ask you now, what sensations do you have when you are angry? Some of you might be able to tell me, but some of you might be like, I don't know. What do I feel? Because we don't take a moment to feel those sensations. And what happens when we become aware of our sensations in our body, our feelings, is that this is going to give us the input to say, I'm getting triggered. I'm this close to have react and explode. This is the time where I need to take a deep breath. So becoming aware, it's a practice, like all mindfulness. So it's about paying attention to what's happening in our body. For example, if you get angry or if you're getting triggered, the more aware you are, the more you will feel that maybe your heart is racing, maybe your palms are sweating, maybe you feel a little bit hot, or if you look in the mirror, you're getting a little bit red or blushed. Maybe you feel some knots in your stomach. I like to say to children, maybe you feel some butterflies in your stomach. Your heart is racing. And this is why it is so important to become aware. How do we become aware? We can do exercises like sorry, I forgot the name. Body scanning. So what we do is during meditation, we do a scan of our body, and we go from our toes all the way up to the crown of our head, and we become aware of the sensations. Sometimes we don't feel nothing on our toes. Sometimes we feel a little tingling. Sometimes we feel that we went to the gym the day before and we feel that our muscles are tense. So this practice will prepare you for when you are getting angry to notice, okay, now my body response is to feel that to have my heart rate increase. I know that I need to take a step back now, otherwise I will explode. So this is why it's so important to become more aware and acknowledge these sensations, again, without judgment. This will allow us to create a bit of space between the stressful situation and our reaction, and this space is where things will happen, where we will finally respond to our children in a very calm way. And the more we practice, the easier and the more harmony we will have in our house. And the third one is shifting perspective. So seeing stress as an opportunity for growth. And in parenting, in positive parenting, everything is, what's my child teaching me right now? It's better we see it like that. Sometimes they get angry because yesterday they had a banana and they wanted the banana peeled, and today we gave them the banana peeled and they wanted to peel it themselves, and they get a meltdown. But what is my child telling me? The issue is not the banana. The issue is maybe they didn't sleep well. Maybe they're hungry. Maybe they had a long day in school. And maybe they wanted to play with a friend and that was not possible. So there could be a lot of things. So what is my child telling? What's behind this meltdown? So this is what we are trying to get from understanding and shifting that perspective. Always see everything as a situation where you can learn. I can learn that today I helped my child because all they needed was a glass of water. And maybe next time you, after school, you will give them the glass of water because you know they're thirsty. Or maybe you, next time, you will bring a snack in the car because you know they're hungry. And it's about like noticing. They know us so well because children are mindful naturally. It's society and growing up and us that we kind of like rob them from this and this awareness that they have. So an important part of mindfulness and having this harmony is mindful communication. So in today's fast-paced world, mindful communication is a powerful tool for fostering happy, harmonious family environment, especially when raising children. Mindful communication goes beyond simply speaking and listening. It's about being fully present, showing empathy, and responding thoughtfully to each other's needs and emotions. I have an exercise that you can do at home with your spouse first. It's you will sit down with your spouse or your friend, your sister, anyone, and you'll have 2 minutes. In these 2 minutes, one will be the speaker, and the other one, I don't think we can do it now, right? Well, it's okay. One will be the speaker, and the other one will be the one who talks. And for 2 minutes, you're going to put a timer. And for 2 minutes, the speaker will speak about anything, something that went wrong at work, or something that makes them happy, or anything they want. And the one who's listening is not allowed to talk. You can nod. You can, place your hands on your heart, kind of like validating their emotions, or you can say I see, or if you feel the need to talk. Better if you don't talk. This, I mean, I'm telling you now, and you might be like, yeah, whatever, but once you do it, it's hard. Then you will switch. It's hard for both. We are not used to be listened for 2 minutes, so the one who speaks, it's gonna feel like it's an eternity, talking without being interrupted. We are not used to it, but this is how mindful communication should go. It doesn't mean that we need to do 2 minutes all the time, but when you are building this connection with your family, with your spouse, with your mom, with your children, it's all about listening. Nowadays we don't listen. We always interrupt, and we always say, I did, you did, this happened. Oh, even if it's something nice, you're not arguing. You tend to say, this happened to me too. Oh my God, I've done. And we don't listen. So we're trying to train our listening ears, literally, to understand that it goes beyond just listen and not processing. Now, the person who is listening, once the speaker finishes, they're gonna have to do 3 steps. I think I have them here. Yeah, active listening, which is eye contact, nodding, placing your heart on your hand on your heart, or maybe touching, if they are crying or something, touching their shoulder, just like making this contact just with body language. That's active listening. Then once they're done, they're gonna pause for a moment. It's always so important to practice this pause, because it's what keeps us from fighting, and it's what keeps us from screaming. So we're gonna pause and think about all the things that the other person told us, process it, and then talk. The best way is to kind of like do a little telling what the other person told us in 2 sentences. And if it was something that was the other person was kind of like complaining, or it's an argument, you're going to do I statements. Instead of saying you hurt me, or you always hurt me when you do this, we're going to rephrase it and say, I always feel hurt when this happens. Why? Because we are trying to make the other person not feel attacked. This doesn't mean that we are being passive and we're letting them do whatever they want. It's more about the other person not being triggered, and we can communicate as well. So instead of saying, you when you don't do the dishes, you always hurt me because I don't feel appreciated, you say, I feel hurt because last night you didn't do the dishes and I felt this and that. So I think you see the difference. And then model and validate. So I can see why you can say, I can see why you felt this way. It makes sense that you are upset. So this way you're telling them that you understand their point, and then you can go and tell your point. So this is important when with your children, of course. With your children, you can practice very simple at dinner time. Each of you get 1 minute to talk about whatever they want. And it's not about like arguing, it's more about just practicing this mindful listening, and everyone, and they will get used to being heard, what we are not used to, first of all, and then listen to the other person without interrupting. So this is mindful listening. And yeah, it's important to let them know that we are listening. Always make eye contact, always put your phone away, and tell them. I tell my kids, I'm going to put my phone away, this is me time with you, so I don't want any distractions. Let's do whatever we are planned to do, like paint or anything. So calm in the chaos, simple mindfulness techniques for stress management. So parenting can feel chaotic, yes, we all know that, but even in the midst of the most stressful situations, there are simple mindfulness techniques that can help you stay calm and, again, respond in a calm way to make your children feel safe and secure. Because at the end of the day, we are, it's like an investment. We all worried, depending on the age of your children, but we all worried about teenage years, when they start to have friends and they stop communicating naturally, they start hanging out with their friends. And we want to be part of their lives. So if we start doing this at dinner time, communicating, showing them that we care, showing them that we listen to them, that they are safe, telling us whatever, then this is like you're watering the plant for when teenage years come, when they are going to be struggling. They will know that you are a safe space, that they can tell you anything and you will listen without judgment, and just listen. And sometimes mindful listening is not even giving a solution. It's not about giving a solution. Sometimes the other person already knows what they want to do. All they want is to feel heard and validated. So same, our children are the same. They only want to feel validated. They only want to feel heard. I hear that you wanted to have ice cream for breakfast, but this and that. So just always make them feel heard and validated. So well, again, talking about breath work, taking 3 deep breaths can calm your nervous system in seconds. We practice this technique by inhaling, as we did in the beginning. You can hold it for a moment if you're an adult, but I don't suggest. Some people, depending, but me as a doctor, don't suggest doing this if you're pregnant and if your child is younger than 9 years old. Just avoid holding the breath. And this will signal the body to switch out of fight or flight, as I explained before. So we're going to do this quick exercise that you can practice with your children. Just 1 second. I need to. So it's square breathing. So we're going to sit nice and tall. Always when we're breathing, when we're meditating, if we're sitting down, we try to stay nice and tall, our spine elongated, our shoulders away from our ears, feet are grounded. And it's called box breathing, square breathing. So what we're doing is kids learn with visual things, when we use props, and when we use our imagination. So this, we're going to picture a square. I know this looks more like a circle, but just imagine this is a square in front of you. And we're going to trace that square with our finger. So whenever we go on the top part of the square, we breathe in. When we go down, we hold the breath. On the bottom part, we breathe out, exhaling through the mouth. And when we go up, we hold the breath. If you're pregnant, or if you do it with a child younger than 9, it's breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. All right, so we're gonna do it together. So inhale, hold, exhale, hold, and you can continue doing that. This, if you do 3 rounds of this, you'll feel calm. I suggest you practice breathing in the morning. When we wake up, our body it's kind of like getting an alert response, right? We're waking up, we are seeing our environment and everything. So 2 things this is a homework for you. First one, avoid looking at your phone for the first 30 minutes. That's one. And the second one is take 3 deep breaths, minimum 3 deep breaths. If you can do 10, that's magnific. Why? Because I don't need to tell you that looking at your phone is going to trigger your stress response with all the social media and emails and everything like that. But the cortisol levels, when we wake up, they're getting higher because we need to be in an alert response. So what happens when we take deep breaths? Normal, if we don't take deep breaths, our cortisol is going to be here. What happens when we get to work and something is wrong, somebody didn't do whatever they needed to do? Our level cortisol is here. So our stress response is going to go from here and up. So we're going to explode. If we take deep breaths in the morning, our cortisol is going to start here. So when we get to work, we have this to work with. Even if the same situation happened, we're not going to explode because we're going to be more in a state of calm. Our nervous system is going to start our day calm, and many other benefits that it has. So another exercise is grounding exercise, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 technique. And this one you can do it as well with your children. So it's all about grounding, feeling safe, and using your 5 senses. So whenever you're out in the park, at the beach, or at home, anywhere, you're going to look for 5 things that you can see around you, 4 things that you can touch, 3 things that you can hear, 2 things that you can smell, and 1 thing that you can taste. You don't need to eat anything. Maybe you taste the coffee in the morning that you had in the morning. Or for kids, I always tell them, just stick your tongue out and taste the air. You can make it as long or as fast as you can, and that will make them feel safe because it's telling all your 5 senses that there's nothing to worry about. You can do that every day in normal, again, to train your brain, to train that muscle brain, mindful brain. And yeah, it's a very fun thing to do with children. And pause, breath, stop. So in moments of high stress, focusing on your physical surroundings can bring you back to the present. For example, when you feel overwhelmed, now that you've practiced all these mindfulness techniques, you can use anyone, because you will know when to pause. When your heart is racing, when you feel like you're sweating, your palms are sweaty. And then you can use either breathing, you can use either 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Of course, I'm not going to ask you to do a headstand at work, but something that you can do is, if you're sitting down, you can just pretend your pen fell on the floor and reach down to the floor, place your head in between your knees, and just stay there. This will help blood flow go into your head and oxygen go into your head, and see the situation from a different perspective. 3 seconds there, and then come up, you found your pen, and then it's another thing that you can do. And well, yeah. Conclusion, by learning and practicing these mindfulness techniques, parents will cultivate emotional resilience and set a positive example for their children. When parents manage stress mindfully, they can create a calmer, more nurturing home where challenges are met with patience and understanding. And this does not only reduce tension, but foster deeper connections between family members. As I said, this is going to go throughout their life, ultimately building happier family and more harmonious family dynamic. And yeah, you will just enjoy parenthood, because sometimes I'm a mom. I know it's hard. I know sometimes we just feel overwhelmed and we feel that so disconnected that we don't enjoy. That's not the idea of parenthood. The idea is, or the beauty about parenthood is about enjoying, finding a way to yes, deal with all the stress from work, or maybe a family member is sick or anything, and don't bring it home. So yeah, if you have any question.
Dr. Sandy, thank you so much for taking the time to share your expertise and experience, and for making our webinar such a success today. It's been amazing. We've got a couple of questions that have come in, so I'll fire them at you if that's okay.
Yes.
Hold on 1 second, let me get them up. So first question, for parents new to mindfulness and holistic health practices, where should they start and how can they essentially maintain consistency?
I love my way of practicing mindfulness. And when I work with parents, I call it sprinkling mindfulness throughout the day. Why? Because I know I don't want to scare anyone and say like, oh, you need to meditate for 20 minutes or 30 minutes. Who has time for that? So sprinkling mindfulness is about doing it in 30 seconds, in 1 minute throughout your day. Like literally you are like, whenever you, instead of like, maybe you are at the bank or waiting at school for pickup, instead of scrolling through your phone, take 3 deep breaths, and this will reset your nervous system. And when you see your kids, because your kids are going to come tired, they're going to come hungry, and they're going to come, maybe if you have more than one, they're going to be fighting with each other. And being in a car with screams, that just, at least me, it triggers me. So if you take those 3 deep breaths, instead of like looking at your phone, because not only avoiding looking at your phone and taking the breaths, but when you look at your phone, you tend to compare. Comparison is the thief of joy. And if you're looking at social media, you're going to see like your neighbor is doing something and you're like, oh my God, I should have done this or whatever. We cannot avoid thinking this. So if you take 3 deep breaths and do it there, then you're going to be reset, and then you're going to be more available for them. Or when you're cooking, use the 5 senses exercise that I explained before. Look at the food. What color is it? Is it cold because it was in the fridge? Does it make a sound? Smell it and taste it, and maybe feel gratitude for the food. The people who the farmers who harvested, and adding gratitude also makes us feel happier.
Amazing, fantastic. And secondly, what are some signs that parents may need to focus on their own mental health in order to better support their children?
When it comes to parenting, I think I'm gonna say it like this, but you feel annoyed, being around your children, it's normal. I've been there. This is why I do this, because I've been there. I was burnout. You don't want to be with them, or you are with them but you're thinking about something else, and you're just tired. And it's understandable. We have so many things to do. We live in a very fast-paced world. So just not wanting to be around, maybe not your children, but your husband or your mom, anyone. If we talk about like symptoms, it could be like maybe you're not sleeping well, or it's hard for you to fall asleep. Maybe if you notice like some change in your pattern of eating, maybe you're overeating or eating less. And yeah, basically being triggered by something that maybe before didn't trigger you, and just being very irritable.
Okay. Wow, amazing. Dr. Sandy, once again, it's been an absolute pleasure having you with us today. And I do hope that we get this opportunity to do this again pretty soon.
Yes, amazing. Thank you, Charlie, for having me, and thank you for joining.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
So I hope you all enjoyed the webinar today with Dr. Sandy. Every single week we'll be hosting an expert webinar just like this one. So make sure that you stay tuned to find out who our guest will be for next week. But for now, I'm going to leave you with a quick video which gives you more of an insight into our team of experts here at the Warrior Academy.
I'd love to introduce you to our team of experts here at the Warrior Academy.
So I'm a senior pediatric occupational therapist.
I'm a family well-being expert.
I am a certified conscious parenting coach.
I'm a pre- and postnatal exercise specialist.
I work with children and parents in the area of cyberbullying prevention and digital wellness.
I am the co-creator and founder of Junior Gladiator Kidpreneurs.
I am a operational coach and therapist.
I am a doctor and an expert in mental health.
First of all, parenting is tough. It's a journey of self-discovery. And as much as we learn about our children, we also learn so much about ourselves going through this process. Ultimately, after working with 50,000 families around the world over the last 15 years, we've come to realize that if we really want to maximize the character development and the transformations that make young people, we need to work with parents as well. We need to provide an unparalleled level of support to parents as well as the children. Being a parent myself, I've realized that there are so many times during a parent's journey where a little extra support or some well-timed advice can make a huge difference to our lives and the lives of our children. In the Warrior Academy, we also believe that children copy what we do more than they listen to what we say. So as we take our children on a journey of self-development through martial arts, we want to provide our Warrior Academy parents with the same opportunity to grow and develop, because we know what an impact that will make to the children and to the family unit. Imagine having access to a team of experts to support your parenting journey. A team of the region's leading doctors, psychologists, therapists, best-selling authors, specialists in human psychology, behavioral psychology, special educational needs, ADHD, autism, bullying, cyber safety, family communication, and even addiction and eating disorders, as well as mindfulness and meditation and emotional regulation. So how can you as a parent work with our team of experts? Well, as a Warrior Academy member, you will get access to 3 things from our team of experts. Firstly, every month we'll be hosting a monthly webinar and a Q&A session on a specific topic. So these group webinars are for our Warrior Academy parents so that you can learn from the experts on a specific topic you're most interested in. You can discover more about a topic that you would like to learn about. The next thing you'll have access to is one-on-one referrals. So when you complete the character compass, our team will then get an insight into where we feel you could do with the additional support, if you do indeed need any additional support. We can then provide you with a 30 to 45 minute free consultation with one of our experts at no cost to you. The third thing we can provide you with is emergency support. Should you ever need emergency support with a time-sensitive and highly challenging situation, we will personally reach out to our team of experts to have a group discussion about the challenge you're going through to provide you with immediate assistance. The entire group suddenly springs into action to help you solve the problem you're facing. Now, this could be a serious and dangerous case of bullying. It could be the loss of a loved one or a family disaster. Of course, we hope this never happens, but what we want to do as a member of the Warrior family is provide our Warrior parents with a level of care and support like no other community out there.